moments.
Yeah. So all right. So hello,
Yeah,
everyone.
I
Welcome
liked
to
it.
our recorded portion of recorded review. Because unfortunately, I was busy during the live review. That's why this one never went live. But anyway, we just saw Father Knows Best. Father Knows Beast, actually.
Father Knows Beast.
Yeah.
What a weird way to make
That
that
was
title.
stupid name.
I actually really did think it was best. Anyway, yeah, this was a Josh Haber episode.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So I have written down. All right, we're gonna get right into the complaining. Hopefully, we can end on some positive.
No, wait.
Okay.
But no,
Okay,
I have written down. It goes montage, exposition, montage, then song. But then it surprised me. Towards the end, I kind of liked where it went. But it was just in the beginning and middle I didn't care for personally. What'd you guys think?
I didn't care for it at all.
I actually liked it. I like the storytelling in this because, but the one major issue I had with this is like, how did Celestia actually obtain Spike? They never explained.
Nope.
Because that wasn't the purpose of the episode.
Yeah, well, the Sludge did tell the story, but I guess that whole story was made up. So it's just
Yeah, that
kind
whole
of
story. The whole story was made up.
annoyingly
It would have
pointless.
been awesome if that. It would have been awesome if that dragon he was talking about was actually his mom.
Yeah,
but
like we
no.
got visuals. They did a little animation, the sketchbook style, whatever you call that, and got to see what we presume is his mother and all. But no, none of that's real. That's such a
None of
tease.
that's real. That
They
was
lied
only
to
just
us.
there. You know what would have made this episode way better?
What?
If that actually was his father. If they fixed the backstory and that actually was his father, because then it would show, like it would have been. No,
if
it
he
would have
was-
been a lot nice because I thought that would have been nice. Like his father's just a scumbag.
Yeah, no, I would totally be all for an episode where that's his real father and he really is kind of a scumbag. That'd be an interesting
I would-
That's right.
conflict.
We don't have
I
a
mean,
son.
I would compete. I would like to compare with Sludge with other deadbeat dads in other cartoons, but I can't because he's not really his father. So
No, that was kind of a weak move there. They kind of chickened out, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to do that. It's like, we don't want to get Spike to have like a really bad dad.
So this whole episode was kind of uniquely.
Stupid.
No, I'm looking for the right word, and I like filler is one that gets thrown around a lot, but I don't think it's a filler episode. But it does seem like
Controversial.
a B-list episode where it doesn't really have all the animation, all the
I don't know,
money.
I
I'll say
thought-
money. It's because it's not really up to them. It didn't really have enough money put into it, maybe because
I see it.
we saw a couple new shots. I noticed how the background is really simple, like season 1-ish. We're like, whoa, what happened there? And then also that whole backstory animation, which was pointless because none of it was real. That was that simple, cheaper style of animation.
But the
and then-
music was pretty good.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
get
I
a
like
song,
the
but
music.
a song is also a method of filling space because maybe they didn't have anything else to put there. The
Wait.
song, I'm not criticizing the song itself, but maybe they chose
I
to
am.
put a song in here.
It didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know, it was
didn't
just
like
lots
it
of
at all.
montages, exposition, the song, which can be a good thing, but it all
Also,
kind of
when-
reeks to me personally of being a cheaper episode.
When this song first aired, like during the leaks, I forgot everything about this episode until just today.
Really?
Like this song, I forgot what the song was even about because it's entirely pointless because at the end of the episode, it's just a real piece of fake. So what's the point?
Yeah.
So
Eh.
well, they're
I
trying
gotta-
to. All right.
well-
What they're trying to do is build up their relationship before they surprise you. Oh, surprise! It's not actually his father. That's what they're
It's
trying
like,
to do.
oh, I could have seen that from a mile away.
So we got during the episode they've mentioned the movie like twice again.
Yeah, we
when are
keep
they-
seeing the movie a lot in the season 8.
this whole season
like,
was just
oh,
movie. This whole
movie,
season was
watch
just
the
movie
movie.
continuity just shoved down
It's
our
just like,
throats.
oh, we
Watch
flew
the
by
movie,
Mount Eris.
watch
Oh,
the
you've
movie,
been to
watch
Mount
the
Eris?
movie.
Like,
Have
oh,
you
yeah.
seen the movie? I don't think you saw it. Watch the movie. Yeah,
I'm not
it's-
really sure why they do
I
that
feel
so forcefully.
I feel sorry for those that didn't see the movie and are just watching the season with just they're just confused. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're
Or-
trying to force you to watch the movie.
That's
Oh,
sad.
yeah.
No, I
Also-
will.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna talk about some good things that I like. One of the good things that I loved was the interaction with. For some reason, I've always loved Spike and Smolder. Like in the episode where he got wings, I love their
Oh, yeah.
interaction between the two. And in here, I really like it. I really like their chemistry between the two. Like,
Yeah,
they're like really cool friends. Like,
Smolder
I do-
is.
I know I do find it really stupid of how. Now this kind of annoys me through the entire episode. Is we have Ember, who's king of the Dragonlands, good friends with Spike. Has Twilight not done any research on dragons? I mean, you got Ember. I mean, it was established in the episode with Thorax where she came to Ponyville and she established that she wanted to learn more about dragons and hasn't done any of that in like 2-3 seasons. So it really kind of annoys me on how Twilight just gave up on that whole.
Yeah,
learning about
a
dragons.
really big problem in lots of season 8, but specifically this episode is the inconsistency with dragon culture. How dragons were early on very lazy, very mean, unempathetic, and just kind of cruel. Then they slowly transitioned into actual characters. We got Ember, which was kind of the exception to all the other mean dragons. But now it seems like Smolder, at least, is trying to imply, no, most dragons are nice. He's the exception. Get the mean dragons out of here. They totally did a 180 on dragon culture
One
in the
thing
show.
I can
Well, she said they were all selfish and everything as well.
No, I thought Smolder
they
was
are.
saying that it's not like that. It's just sludges. I don't know. It's still...
No. She said they're all selfish and rude, but they're not deadbeat dads.
Oh, okay. So I guess
then
they're not
that's not
totally
real dragon.
abandoning it, but still, it feels like it's really going in a
It-
different direction to me.
One
It
thing
did feel dumb. It annoys me of how. Okay, this annoys me of how this is like an episode that should have been done in like season 2 or 1, with this type of story.
Well,
It just annoys me of how Spike knows Smolder, and like I honestly thought Spike was just gonna just realize like, oh yeah, obviously dragons don't do that because Smolder. It just annoys me. This whole episode just contradicts everything about
well,
dragons.
yeah. Once again, Spike is kind of presented as an idiot, like, but that's not
Yeah, that's
unusual.
why
That's nothing new.
I blame the
Then
bad
again,
writers.
he doesn't. Then again,
Josh
he doesn't know
Forever
much about
ruined
dragon
Spike.
culture.
Why does this
Also-
show hate Spike?
No, also the whole fight between Spike and Twilight, it's just like, oh, you're not my mother. It's like, what? That comes out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to do something kind of harsh and surprising there, because obviously Sludge's
Gonna get
story
that
isn't surprising
somehow.
enough. But
No, it comes off as mean-spirited.
yeah, do I have a screenshot? Yeah, of Twilight's heart literally breaking. Like, I like that little cartoon gag how they show her heart breaking. And, you know, from the emotional standpoint, the storytelling,
I'm still
is-
confused about the whole pony skeleton thing. what their skeletons are like.
I don't think I would write this down as a complaint. I actually like the dynamic between Spike and Twilight and how Spike is seeing something different than the ponies and how he kind of says something he later regrets, obviously, and you know, maybe he didn't really mean it, but either way, it kind of hurts Twilight. And I like that they had the guts to go that far to actually, you know, have them. I wouldn't call it a fight. What would you call this? Put a rift between the two, I suppose.
yeah.
A mean-spirited breakup.
One thing I like to point out is that Sludge kept like gaslighting Spike over a dragon always bees lazy.
That's the cartoony thing. They
And
should- they
no,
usually
hold
do.
on. He tries to be lazy and
Well-
say, "Oh, dragons are supposed to do this."
I think gaslight's the wrong word, but manipulation for sure.
Manipulation.
Manipulative?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he faked getting hurt in the first place as well.
No,
Yeah,
that
we don't know. We don't really have any ansers. There's so many questions
why-
because he could
why
have.
did he-
I could understand him falling and actually getting hurt, and like that succeeds the first montage. But then, right when he's starting to get better, yeah, okay, he's officially better. But then he just uses the excuse like, "Oh, I'm your father. Let me stay here a few more days."
It feels very
yeah.
like messy.
Because if you look at the beginning of the episode, right after he's all healed up and he's about to like just leave, Spike explains his whole backstory, and so he's just like, "Oh, you know, I got an idea."
yeah, the exposition just I don't know.
That annoyed me.
I try not to point to like the writer of an episode and say this person didn't do a very good job because obviously
This
I
person did a terrible
I say that
job.
all the time. I know I do that. But anyway, this episode on the whole feels like they didn't have enough time to put into it. Time and money specifically. You know, animation is money. That's too bad because Spike meeting his dad, or even if it's a fake dad, that's a really big story to tell. That could have been like a season premiere, finale, two-parter sort of thing. I don't know.
Mhm. But what the main thing I had like a problem with in the episode was, why did he come in on a flaming ball? Did they ever explain anything about that?
No,
I
they
can
didn't.
understand.
No.
That's just a cartoony gag they usually do because they did the same thing I think with Rainbow Dash in season 1.
Wait, is
No,
it,
I
hold on,
don't
do I
think
even
it
have a
was
screenshot?
one.
I guess I
I
don't
think
have
it
a
was
screenshot.
season 5. Right? They did
No,
that.
it's just a cartoony thing, or it was just because of a dragon thing. It's like, oh well, or maybe he was just so high up he was just flung into the atmosphere.
All right, we're gonna jump into individual ratings and reviews soon, but before we do, I want to mention one thing we haven't talked too much about, and that's Smolder helping Spike. And
I like that. That's the
Hey,
only
I
part I
like
like.
that.
Yeah.
Spike,
was
Smolder is
pretty
kind of
good.
like the big sister to Spike, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Or we ship them.
No,
No, I don't ship them.
No,
I
they're
just
both-
think of it more as a brother-sister relationship.
they're both
than
like
a...
little tiny children. No,
Yeah,
Teenagers.
Yeah, they're kids.
Well,
Even
I
Sludge called
Baby
Smolder a
dragon.
baby.
I think
Teenagers.
Spike is graduated to like preteen or tween or whatever, and
Tween.
Smolder is like a
Teenager.
teen.
Tweens.
He has wings. He's a teenager.
No, I think Big Jim said he's still a tween or preteen. I can't talk.
In the
Anyway.
creator of the show said they The ponies don't have bathrooms.
Let's go ahead and jump into our ratings and reviews. We'll do 2 minutes apiece, or up to 2 minutes apiece. You want to start us off, Drummer?
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I thought the episode was good. It was like something I could look back at. Again, Sludge manipulating Spike, and being a fake father. As you said, it would have been great to have like a real father. It would have made a great story arc, but they kind of just blew it off the fly. Love the music. It was good. Daniel Ingram's awesome. But it felt like the beginning of the story kind of dragged a bit, but it started to pick up through the middle of the end. So it was a good episode. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
All right, 7 out of 10 from Drummer. Who is next? Hojo, what'd you think?
Well, all in all, I didn't like how they skipped the entire training montage at the beginning. I was like, and they didn't really have a good transition screen either, so it just like he just flew up in the air, and like all of a sudden now he's done. He now knows everything. Honestly, I honestly think the dragon quote unquote dad was doing it all to get attention. Let's see, what else do I have? The heart they went purposefully out and like said it's like midsummer in the show, but the Heartwarming Eve special is actually airing in like 2 weeks.
Wait, how's that related?
Yeah.
Because the Heartwarming Eve scene.
That was just a setup.
Yeah, that wasn't real.
Yeah, that was just a
I know it was, but they said it was like midsummer. They were like, it's so hot outside kind of deal.
Yeah, it's just a joke.
Ugh. Anyways, the music was good, but I didn't think Spike singing at the end was necessary. But yeah, all in all, I give this one 4 out of 10.
Ooh, 4 out of 10? All right. All right, Jessica, what did you think?
I don't think I would give this episode a 4, honestly. But yeah, this was a episode. Just an episode that I would probably forget because it's just boring. It's just not interesting. Honestly, the thing is, this idea would be great on paper, but as they put it in an episode, it just doesn't look right. Like Sludge would look like a dad of Spike, but honestly, now that they put the whole "I'm not your father" stuff in the end, it's just a big disappointment. And just this entire episode just didn't make any sense. That's one of the best way to describe it. It doesn't make any sense. Also, Sludge's plan I also mentioned this morning, but like Sludge's plan to pretend to be an orphan's father is probably sick and disgusting. But yeah, aside from that, this episode was just not really that interesting. I think I would forget about this. Then it's probably like one of the least interesting episodes out of the season. So I think I would probably get this episode like a 6 out of 10. Probably.
All right, 6 out of 10 from Jessica. I'm next, but I'll wrap things up. So Tootsie, what did you think?
This is a good episode that describes all of season 8. Sounds like a great idea, but it's just an awful execution. That's the best way to describe season 8. But this episode in general, like, I pretty much saw that it wasn't his father from like a mile away. And even from the leaks, I forgot everything about this episode until just a few minutes ago after watching it. And the episode would have been a lot better if they redid the backstory where it made sense. Like where Sludge was actually, it would have been better if Sludge was actually Spike's dad, because it would have left a really big impact in how Spike easily just fell for this guy who's just pure random, by the way. And also Spike just spews his backstory within like the first 2 minutes after, first few seconds right after right after Sludge leaves. Like, I thought the episode itself was just kind of boring. Nothing really happened. I love Spike to death. I think he's like my second favorite character out of the show. But this whole episode made him feel like stupid. It really annoyed me of how none of the main 6 even or none of the main 6 tried to bat an eye at this. like never thought this is just kind of weird. Oh, this guy automatically just says he's Spike's father right after we spent all this time trying to heal him and help him out. It's like, seems kind of fishy. But now let's get out the negative and go to the good parts. I really like the Spike and Smolder's interaction. I always like their little relationship in the show. It's really nice. It's very kind. But overall, I would give this episode probably, I don't know, maybe I want to say a 3, but I also want to say a 4. So I'm just going to go with a 3.
Oh, you could do 3.5, and I don't know what.
No,
that
I don't
would
want to do that. 3 out of 10.
All right, a 3 from Tootsie. So I suppose it's my turn. It feels like this is a really big story that they wanted to tell. You know, Spike meeting his dad. That's the worst you could say is maybe, it's kind of a shark jumping moment. Like, this is something that why wait till season 8? I think Tootsie mentioned this. We should have seen something like that earlier. But it is good to finally see some answers, or some attempt to give us some answers about Spike's real parents and his where he came from and all that. But and I appreciate the episode trying to do that. But at the same time, it's just a series of disappointments, and I think Jessica mentioned confusion, how things just don't really line up, how characters are kind of forced into a box to act a little bit stupid and not really try to figure the situation out. You know, why would Twilight should be smart enough to realize that he's probably a con man. It's just the way he acts. She doesn't like him very much, obviously, so you would think she would immediately pick up on him being a con man. But no, she just has to be kind of dumb for this episode for Spike to go through his little moment. And speaking of moments, there were good moments. You know, I do like Spike and Smolder. I wasn't really a big fan of Smolder, just as a season 8 thing. I'm not a fan of the students, but him and Smolder makes sense because she's kind of like a big sister to him now, and I like that. And then, of course, Twilight's moment with the rift between her and Spike. That was a dramatic moment, which kind of didn't take center stage of the episode, but it was the biggest driving force of the episode, of course. Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, but I'm not listing it as a complaint. I actually liked how they had the guts to, have an emotional moment, make Twilight cry. That's sad, because it does feel like that's something Spike would say, because Spike is kind of an idiot and would say something mean without even really realizing it. I thought that made sense. But but no, I liked it. And then, of course, at the end, it's very adorable when they come back together and they make up. I thought that was adorable. I like that. So it's not all bad. I'm not trying to be like ranting on the whole episode, even if I did say, and I still stand by the fact that I think this is like a B-list episode where they had less time or less money to put into it or something. There's just signs all over the place that it's rushed. And this time, I don't just blame the writer like I usually do. I really think it comes down to the whole production of this episode was kind of rushed. But, on the whole, it's kind of like a medium, so it doesn't get a point, doesn't lose a point. I'd give it a 5 out of 10 for that. All right, let's go ahead and calculate our average.
Yeah, there. Were good.
Our average for the Little Shy Livestream reviews for Father Knows Beast is it's just a 5. Wait, is that right?
Did you calculate that?
That's what I just rated it. Did I calculate that wrong?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a 5 out of 10 for this episode. That sounds about right. That was my rating. I agree with that.
Mediocre.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed our review. We have one more next week for the finale, and after that, I guess it's goodbye. But we won't get to that just yet.
No, it's not.
Bye, kiddos. Get out of here.
All right. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Go do your Saturday chores.